Ever feel like the future's right around the corner? Well, today it is. We're diving deep into AI and insurance, all because you want to know one thing.
Is my insurance agent going to be replaced by a robot?
That's the big question.
Huh?
Right. And the sources you sent in are awesome. They show how AI is changing the game, but also where human agents are still super important.
Yeah, there's a lot of buzz about AI taking over jobs. But when it comes to insurance, it's not really robots stealing jobs. It's more like them, changing how everything works.
Okay, so not a Terminator situation,
Yeah.
more like a major upgrade for the whole industry.
Exactly. Take underwriting, for instance. It used to be so slow. But AI is changing that big time. Think about it. Applying for life insurance. But no weeks of waiting, no medical exams. AI can check your health records, fitness tracker data, maybe even genetic stuff. And boom, you get a quote, like super fast.
Whoa, that's pretty wild. Okay, so AI can speed things up. But what about when things go wrong? Can it handle, like, claims too?
Oh, absolutely. Let's say you're an offender bender. No need to wait for an adjuster. You just snap some pics of the damage, upload them, and AI steps in. It uses something called computer vision to see how bad it is and figure out the repair costs.
Hold up, computer vision, is that like robots with eyes?
Kinda, yeah. It's a type of AI that lets computers see pictures and understand them, like we do. So it means you get paid faster, there's less fraud, and the whole claims process is smoother.
So AI is making things faster, more efficient. But does that mean, like, human insurance agents are out of a job?
Not quite. Our sources are really clear that there are some areas where humans are just better. A big one is empathy and trust, especially when you're dealing with, tough situations.
Yeah, I get that. If something bad happens, you don't want to talk to a computer. You want a human who gets it.
Right. AI can't really replicate that human touch, that ability to listen, to actually understand what you're going through and be there for you when you need it most.
That makes a lot of sense. But hey, isn't insurance also about, like, policies and numbers and stuff? Surely AI can handle that, right?
It can, yeah. But even then, human agents have something special. They can build real relationships. People often pick their agents based on who they know or recommendations from friends. They want someone they can trust, especially when they're sharing personal financial info. That kind of trust takes time and face-to-face interaction.
So it's not just about getting the job done. It's about that connection, that trust you build.
Exactly. And then there are the tricky cases, the ones that are super unique and need, a human's understanding of the rules and risks and what the client really needs.
Like, say, a small business owner who needs a really specific insurance plan.
Exactly. There's so many moving parts, regulations, things to think about. It takes a human expert to handle all that and create a plan that actually works for them.
Okay, I'm starting to see the big picture here. AI might be awesome for the simple stuff, but human agents are still key for anything that needs that human touch or expert knowledge.
You got it. It's not really about AI versus humans. It's about figuring out how they can work together to make the best experience for everyone.
So are we talking about some kind of, like, futuristic team up? Like Batman and Robin, but for insurance?
Haha, you could say that. The sources point towards a hybrid future where AI and human agents work together, playing to their strengths. Imagine an agent with a high-tech dashboard powered by AI. It could give them real-time data, risk assessments, even personalized policy suggestions.
That sounds like a serious upgrade for agents.
For sure. AI does the heavy lifting, which frees up agents to focus on what they're best at. Building those relationships, giving expert advice, being a trusted advisor for their client.
Okay, that's pretty impressive. But we've also heard about those robo-advisors in finance. Are they going to shake things up in the insurance world too?
They already are. If you have a simple need like travel insurance, robo-advisors are amazing, super fast, super convenient. You can get a quote and buy a policy online in minutes, no human interaction needed.
So it's like self-service insurance when you need something quick and easy.
Exactly. But for the more complicated stuff, like insuring a business or a valuable property, people still want that expert human agent they can trust.
So robo-advisors have their place, but they're not taking over everything.
Right. And don't forget, the insurance industry's got a lot of regulations. That means humans got to be involved to make sure AI is being used fairly and responsibly. We can't just let algorithms go wild.
That makes sense. It sounds like the future of insurance is this cool blend of high-tech and human touch. But what does that mean for someone thinking about a career in insurance today? What skills are going to be essential in this brave new world?
That's the key question, right? Our sources highlight a few key things. First off, you got to be comfortable with tech. You don't need to be a programmer, but you got to understand how AI works and how to use the insights it gives you.
So being tech savvy is the new norm for insurance agents.
Got it.
What else?
Well, emotional intelligence is huge too. As AI takes over the more routine stuff, human agents got to double down on what makes them human. Empathy, listening skills, building trust with clients, those skills are going to be even more important.
Because at the end of the day, insurance is still about people helping people.
Exactly. And as AI handles the more transactional stuff, agents will need to step up as advisors, offering holistic advice that goes beyond just selling a policy.
So less about pushing products and more about being a trusted guide through the world of insurance.
That's it. And to do that well, agents are going to need to be good at understanding and analyzing data. They have to make sense of the info AI generates, explain it clearly to their clients, and use it to offer better service.
So the role of the insurance agent is evolving, not disappearing.
That's the big takeaway. AI is changing the game, but it's opening up new opportunities, not shutting down old ones.
That's actually really encouraging. So for anyone interested in insurance, don't let the robots freak you out. Embrace the change, build up those skills, and you'll be in demand as the industry evolves. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, I'm curious about what all this means for us, the customers. How is AI going to change how we buy and experience insurance?
That's a great question, and it deserves its own deep dive. Let's explore that next. It's kind of wild to think how we even got to this point. Insurance has always been about handling risk, right? But AI is changing how we even measure and price that risk.
Yeah, it's a whole new world out there. I read somewhere that AI can analyze weather patterns and predict natural disasters. It sounds straight out of a movie.
It's not sci-fi, it's real. Companies are using AI to look at tons of data, from past weather records to what's happening right now with satellites. And they're using it to predict things like hurricanes, wildfires, floods, the whole shebang.
So instead of just reacting to disasters, insurance companies can use AI to help people prepare ahead of time and, lower the risks.
Exactly. It could be stuff like giving personalized advice on how to protect your home from, say, floods or fires, or maybe even changing your premiums based on how well you've prepared for those risks.
That's pretty amazing. So AI is pushing the insurance industry from, reacting to stuff to actually being proactive and preventing bad things from happening.
That's a great point. It's not just about paying up after a disaster. It's about stopping it in the first place. But let's shift gears a bit. Let's talk about us, the consumers. How's AI going to change how we actually buy and use insurance?
Now, that's what I'm really interested in. Is it going to be like ordering a pizza online, but for insurance?
It might not be that simple, but one big change will be personalization. Imagine getting insurance policies that are actually made for you and how you live, not just those generic one-size-fits-all deals.
So no more cookie-cutter policies. What kind of personalized options are we talking about?
Well, AI can analyze all sorts of data to build a risk profile just for you. Things like your driving habits, your health data, even your financial history can be used to create a policy that fits you perfectly.
Wait, financial history too? That seems like a lot of information.
It might seem like a lot, but it helps insurance companies be more accurate with their pricing and what they cover. And of course, data privacy and transparency are super important. As AI gets more involved, we got to make sure our data is being used responsibly and ethically.
Yeah, good point. We don't want to trade our privacy for a better deal.
Absolutely. Now, on top of personalization, I think we're going to see more digital stuff and self-service options too.
So more people buying insurance online or through apps?
Yep. Those AI-powered chatbots and virtual assistants are going to be everywhere. They let you get quotes, file claims, manage your policies 24/7, all without talking to a human.
That sounds crazy convenient. But what about those of us who actually like talking to a real person?
Even then, AI can actually make that interaction better. Think about it. You call your agent, and they instantly have your entire policy history, your claims, personalized recommendations, all right there.
No more waiting on hold forever or dealing with mountains of paperwork. That'd be awesome.
Right. AI streamlines everything, making the whole experience so much smoother, whether you're doing it all online or talking to an agent.
Okay, so AI can make insurance more personal, more convenient, easier to access. But what about cost? Will all this fancy tech actually make insurance cheaper?
That's the big question, and honestly, there's no easy answer. So many things affect insurance prices, and it's tough to say how AI will shake things up.
So it's not a guaranteed win for our wallets.
Not necessarily. On one hand, AI could help lower prices by helping insurers better understand risk and catch fraud. If they're losing less money to fake claims, they can, in theory, pass those savings on to us.
That makes sense. But you said it's not a sure thing. What's the catch?
Well, AI could also lead to more personalized pricing, meaning if AI thinks you're higher risk, your premiums could actually go up. And that brings up some tricky questions about fairness and who gets access to insurance.
I see what you mean. What if someone can't afford those higher premiums because of what the AI decides about their risk?
That's a valid concern, and it's something that regulators and lawmakers will need to figure out as AI gets more powerful. We have to make sure that AI is being used to make insurance fairer and more accessible, not to leave people out who really need it.
It sounds like AI in insurance is kind of a double-edged sword. Lots of potential for good, but some things to watch out for.
Exactly. Like any powerful tech, AI can be used for good or for bad. We got to be aware of the downsides and try to minimize them. We can't just blindly accept new technology without thinking about the consequences.
So it's not about being scared of AI, it's about using it wisely and ethically.
That's the key. Finding that balance between innovation and responsibility. But let's zoom in on one of the most interesting things about AI in insurance. Our sources talk about how AI is already being used in some really surprising ways.
Ooh, tell me more. I love those AI surprises.
Well, one that blew my mind was using AI to look at satellite pictures for underwriting.
Wait, what? Insurance companies are using satellites to decide on policies? That's some next-level stuff.
I know, right? It might sound futuristic, but it's happening right now. Like, some companies use satellite imagery to figure out the risk of flooding for houses near the coast.
So instead of sending someone to check out a property, they can just zoom in from space.
You got it! It's faster, cheaper, and often gives them a better view of the risks.
That's crazy. Talk about using technology in ways you'd never expect. What other surprising applications are out there?
Another cool one is using AI to catch insurance fraud.
Oh yeah, one of the sources mentioned that. How does AI even tackle something as sneaky as fraud?
AI algorithms can sift through mountains of data, looking for patterns and anything that seems out of place. They can check claims histories, policyholder info, even stuff on social media to see if anything's fishy.
So if someone tries to fake an accident or lie about their claim, AI might catch them red-handed.
Yep. It's like having a super sleuth working behind the scenes, protecting both the insurance companies and us, the honest customers, from those shady schemes.
That's actually pretty reassuring. It sounds like AI is really turning the insurance world upside down.
It is, and it's not just about numbers and data. AI is also changing customer service in a big way.
You mean like those chatbots we talked about?
Yes, but it goes beyond that. Some companies are using AI to personalize the customer experience in really smart ways. Like, AI can analyze phone calls and emails to figure out patterns and predict what customers might need.
So the AI can kind of read the customer's minds and anticipate their questions.
You could say that. This helps customer service reps be more helpful and proactive, making the whole experience better for everyone.
It's like AI is bringing this whole new level of intuition and intelligence to customer service.
Exactly. And these are just a few examples of how AI is being used in insurance right now. It's such a fast-moving field, and the possibilities are mind-blowing.
Okay, so we've seen some amazing ways AI is changing things already. But what about the future? What trends are you most excited about?
One that I think is going to be huge is something called embedded insurance.
Embedded insurance. I've never heard of that. What is it?
It's basically integrating insurance seamlessly into other products and services. So instead of having to shop around for separate insurance policies, it's all built in from the get-go.
That sounds incredibly convenient. Got any examples?
Imagine buying a new car and the insurance is already included in the price.
Yeah.
Or booking a flight and having travel insurance automatically added without you even thinking about it.
So it's all about making insurance simple and easy. No more separate policies and paperwork.
Exactly. And you know what? AI is going to be a key player in making embedded insurance a reality.
How so?
AI can assess risk and price policies instantly based on what you're buying at that moment.
So if I'm buying a car, the AI can figure out my risk profile and give me a personalized insurance quote right away.
Exactly. It makes the whole process incredibly smooth and efficient. And for us consumers, it takes all the guesswork and hassle out of buying insurance.
That's amazing. I can definitely see embedded insurance becoming the next big thing.
I think so too. It has the potential to change the whole insurance industry. But there's another technology on the horizon that's just as fascinating: blockchain.
Blockchain, isn't that like the tech behind Bitcoin and all those cryptocurrencies?
It is. But blockchain has a ton of uses beyond just crypto, and the insurance world is starting to pay attention.
So how could blockchain be used in insurance? I'm having trouble picturing it.
Well, blockchain is basically a super secure and transparent way to store and share information. That's really important for insurance, where data is king.
Okay, I'm starting to see where you're going with this.
Imagine all your insurance policies, your claim records, all your important data stored safely on a blockchain network. That would make it super easy for you to share your info with different companies, switch providers, and manage your policies without any headaches.
So no more digging through old files or dealing with confusing paperwork.
Exactly. And blockchain can also automate claims and help prevent fraud. Because blockchain is so secure and tamper-proof, it makes it way harder for fake claims to get through.
Wow, blockchain really does have a lot of potential in insurance.
For sure. And we're just scratching the surface of what it can do. It's clear that the future of insurance is going to be shaped by all sorts of technologies working together, like AI, blockchain, and even the Internet of Things.
It sounds like the insurance industry is in for a major tech makeover. But with all this talk about technology, it's easy to forget about the human side of things. We talked about how AI won't completely replace human agents, but it'll definitely change what they need to know to be successful.
Absolutely. The agents of the future need different skills than the agents of the past. They'll need to understand tech, be adaptable, and know how to use AI to do their jobs better.
So what advice would you give someone thinking about a career in insurance today? What skills should they focus on?
First things first, embrace technology. Don't be afraid of it. The agents who get comfortable with tech, who can use AI tools to their advantage, those are the ones who'll succeed in this new world.
So being tech savvy is a must-have. What else is important?
Soft skills are just as important. Communication, empathy, problem solving, those are going to be even more valuable as things get more automated.
Because at the end of the day, insurance is still about people helping people.
That's it. No matter how smart AI gets, it'll never truly replace human connection. The agents who can build strong relationships, understand what their clients need, and offer advice tailored to them, those agents will always be in demand.
So it's not just about knowing the tech, it's about knowing how to use it to connect with people on a human level.
Exactly. And last but not least, always be learning. The insurance world is always changing. The agents who are willing to adapt, learn new things, and stay ahead of the game, those are the ones with the brightest futures.
That's great advice. It sounds like there's a lot of opportunity in insurance, even with all these changes happening.
I think so too. It's a really exciting time to be in insurance, even with all the uncertainty. But before we wrap things up, there's one more thing about AI and insurance that I think is worth thinking about.
Oh, what's that? I'm always up for some more AI brain bending.
Well, we've talked about how AI is changing things practically, right? But I think it's also making us rethink what insurance even is.
Okay, now I'm really curious. Tell me more.
Traditionally, insurance has been about protecting yourself financially when something bad happens. But AI is shifting us towards a more preventative approach to risk.
Like we talked about before, with the satellite pictures and predicting risks ahead of time.
Exactly. AI gives insurance companies the power to spot risks as they happen, which means they can step in and help people avoid those risks in the first place.
So instead of just paying out after an accident, they can use AI to help people drive safer, take care of their homes, even make healthier choices.
Precisely. And I think that's a really exciting change. It means insurance can be more than just a safety net. It can be a tool to help us live better, safer, healthier lives.
That's a really interesting way to think about it. It's like AI is helping insurance evolve from just protecting us from financial loss to actually helping us live better lives overall.
I think you nailed it, and I think that's a vision worth fighting for. But let's not forget, with all this potential for good, AI also brings up some ethical and philosophical questions in the world of insurance.
Right, we can't just focus on the shiny new tech without thinking about the downsides.
Yeah.
What kind of ethical and philosophical challenges are we talking about?
Well, one of the biggest ones is data privacy. We've already talked about how insurance companies are using AI to analyze tons of data, like social media, financial history, maybe even genetic info down the line.
And as AI gets smarter, it's only going to have access to more data about our lives. So how do we balance the benefits of AI with keeping our information private?
That's a tough question with no easy answers. But we need to be open and honest about these issues and come up with clear rules and regulations about data privacy in the age of AI. We can't just sit back and do nothing.
I totally agree. We need to be proactive about protecting our privacy and making sure AI is being used responsibly and ethically.
Absolutely. And another ethical challenge is something called algorithmic bias.
You mean like the idea that the algorithms behind AI can reflect the biases of the people who created them?
Exactly. And if those algorithms are being used to make decisions about who gets insurance and how much they pay, that could lead to some really unfair situations.
That's a big concern. We need to make sure that AI is being used to make things fairer, not to keep things unequal.
Couldn't agree more. We got to be really careful and make sure that the algorithms we use are fair, transparent, and accountable.
So data privacy and algorithmic bias, those are two big ethical challenges to keep in mind. Are there any other philosophical questions that come up when you think about AI and insurance?
One that's really interesting to me is the idea of responsibility. If AI systems are making more and more decisions about insurance coverage, who's actually responsible when something goes wrong?
That's a great question. Is it the insurance company, the people who made the AI, or even the person with the policy? It's not always clear who's to blame.
Right. And that's something we need to figure out as AI becomes a bigger part of our lives.
It sounds like AI is forcing us to rethink not just the technical stuff about insurance, but the whole ethical and philosophical basis of the industry.
I think that's spot on. And this is just part of how AI is affecting society as a whole. It's not just a tool. It's a force that's changing how we think, how we live, how we relate to each other.
That's deep. It really shows how important it is to be having these conversations about AI now, before it gets so ingrained in our lives that we can't change course.
Exactly. We need to be thoughtful, proactive, and involved in shaping the future of AI, not just in insurance, but everywhere.
Well, that's a powerful message to leave our listeners with. This deep dive has been incredibly eye-opening.
It really has.
We've uncovered some amazing technological advances, explored the possibilities of embedded insurance and blockchain, and wrestled with some big ethical and philosophical questions.
And most importantly, I think we've shown that the future of insurance isn't set in stone. It's something we create together through thoughtful discussion, responsible innovation, and a commitment to using AI for good.
Beautifully put. But hey, let's not get ahead of ourselves. We still need to explore one crucial piece of this whole AI and insurance puzzle.
What's that?
Remember that question we started with? Is your friendly neighborhood insurance agent about to be replaced by a robot?
Yes. The question that launched this whole deep dive.
We've circled around it, talked about the changing role of agents, the rise of robo-advisors, but we haven't given a definitive answer.
You're right. It's time to address the elephant in the room. What does the future hold for insurance agents in this world where AI is everywhere?
That's the question everyone wants to know. Let's finally dive in. All right, let's cut to the chase. Are robots going to steal all the insurance agent jobs?
That's the question, isn't it? The short answer is it's complicated.
Figured you might say that. But let's break it down. We've talked about all the amazing things AI can do, like, analyzing satellite images and catching fraudsters. But can it really replace that human touch, that expertise that agents bring?
That's the heart of the matter, right? AI is definitely transforming insurance, but it's not a simple robots versus humans situation. It's more about how they can work together, create a better future for both agents and the people they help.
So it's not about replacing agents. It's about changing what they do.
Exactly. Think of it as like an evolution. The role of the insurance agent is shifting, becoming more specialized, more tech-focused, and honestly, maybe even more important than before.
Okay, now I'm really curious. What does this new, evolved insurance agent look like? What kind of skills do they need?
Imagine an agent who's not just selling you something, but they're a trusted advisor, a risk expert, and totally comfortable with technology. They're fluent in AI, basically. They can use its insights to give you personalized advice and create insurance solutions that are tailor-made for you.
So, like the insurance agents we know now, but with a high-tech upgrade.
Exactly. They get how AI is changing things, they know how to use the tools, and they can explain all that complicated data in a way that makes sense for their clients.
That sounds like a pretty challenging job. What specific skills will these future agents need to really succeed?
Well, we've touched on a few already. Being tech-savvy is essential. These agents are comfortable using AI platforms, understanding the data, and knowing how algorithms affect insurance products and pricing.
So, gotta be tech-savvy. Check. What else?
Just as important are those human skills that AI can't copy. Things like empathy, good communication, and building trust with clients.
Because even with all this tech, people still want that human connection, especially when it comes to something as important as insurance.
For sure. These agents are great at building those lasting relationships, really understanding their clients' needs, and giving advice that goes beyond just numbers and data.
So they're not just pushing policies, they're becoming trusted advisors that people can rely on.
Exactly. They're also great problem solvers and critical thinkers. They can look at complex situations, spot potential problems, and come up with creative solutions that work for each client.
Like insurance detectives, using their knowledge, experience, and AI tools to solve problems and protect their clients.
I like that. And maybe most importantly, these agents are always learning. The insurance world never stops changing, so they're always trying to stay ahead of the curve. They're not afraid of new technology. They keep their skills sharp, and they adapt to whatever comes their way.
So the takeaway is, don't be afraid of the robots, be ready to change. If you're willing to adapt, learn, and grow alongside AI, there's a bright future out there for insurance agents.
Couldn't have said it better myself. The industry needs talented people who can connect the dots between technology and what people really need. Those who can do that will be in high demand and set up for success in this new age of insurance.
This has been such an interesting deep dive. I think we've given our listeners a lot to think about.
Me too. It's been great exploring all this with you.
Likewise. And to everyone listening, thank you so much for joining us on this journey into the world of AI and insurance. Remember, the future isn't something that just happens. It's something we build. So be curious, stay informed, and get involved in shaping the future you want to see.